An interleague series matching up two teams that swing the bats with conviction and often find very successful results at the plate. That is why the series has been all about pitching. Friday night, Cole Hamels welcomed the AL visitors with 7 solid innings, allowing just 4 base runners. Last night, the fourth-year Japanese wonder put on the best performance of his major league career, silencing the Phillies and nearly stepping into the history books. The weekend finale will conclude with pinpoint location and knuckles galore. Either mode you choose, a good way to start the path to success is with pitching. Last night, Daisuke Matsuzaka was in search of his first ever no-hitter in just his second complete game. His ball was moving every which way in the early part of the ball game against the Phils, and he also helped himself out on this hot shot by Jason Worth. But then with 2 outs in the 8th inning, Juan Castro dumped one over the outstretched glove of Marco Scutaro. It was the game's only hit for the Phillies, and Matsuzaka had to settle for a victory in just his 5th start of the season. What's going to happen this afternoon? Well, there's only been 11 runs scored between the two teams in the first 2 games of this series. We'll see what happens in the finale of this 3-game set here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Gary Matthews will be along in just a little while. Well, pitching. That's been really the storyline in this series so far, and it may continue today as Roy Halladay takes the ball for the Phils.
Yeah, real contrast today with Halladay and Wakefield. Roy Halladay coming off that long effort the other night in that brutal condition. It was cold, it was windy, and he pitched a really good game against the Pittsburgh Pirates, but unfortunately did not win the game. Phillies lost it 2-1, but Halladay was typical Roy Halladay. He would get into some jams, he'd get out of them. He threw great pitches, he ran some deep counts, a lot of foul balls, and he wound up throwing around 130 pitches in that game. Charlie Manuel went out to him in the 9th inning. This is where the game got a little bit long because he had a tough 9th inning, but he finally finished the 9th inning. Unfortunately, the Phillies were not able to get it done for him. He has faced the Boston Red Sox many, many times in his career. 38 starts, he has 28 decisions, and they've hit him pretty well over the years at times, but you figure he's also dominated them, Tom. Different lineup right now for the Boston Red Sox other than the one that probably faced Halladay a lot.
Yeah, very different lineup. And one guy that Roy Halladay has faced while he was a member of the Toronto Blue Jays before is Tim Wakefield, who has slid back into the rotation for the Red Sox with the injury to Josh Beckett.
Well, you just don't see guys like this anymore. You know, it used to be the Necros were out there and you'd face a knuckleballer once in a while. But Tim Wakefield, one of the few guys out there that still throws it, and he throws the slow flutter ball. This was back in 05 when he was still in the prime of his career. He slipped off a little bit now, but you never know what kind of game he's going to have. Look at these awful looking swings guys get at that knuckleball, and he'll throw it about 90-95% of the time. He has a little fastball he'll mix in. Once in a while throw an overhand curveball, but for the most part you're going to get knuckleball from this guy. This is what he has done against the National League. He started his career in Pittsburgh. He wasn't there very long, but overall against the National League, 14-15 with those stats. Now, he can make hitters look as bad as anybody in baseball, or he can have an off day and you'll crush him early. So there's usually no in-between with Wakefield.
And it sounds strange, but he may be the first of 2 knuckleballers that the Phillies will see this week. We'll talk more about that as the week moves on. This afternoon, though, it's Roy Halladay, who will be opposed by Tim Wakefield. That's right, Red Sox Nation is mixed in this weekend with Phillies Nation. The final game of this 3-game series is coming up with the lineups and the first pitch. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with a refreshing taste of lime. By Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By Toyota. Toyota's national sales event is going on now. Hurry into your Toyota dealer today. By Xfinity. It's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. By Citizens Bank, with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. And by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. The Red Sox dugout are still a buzz about Daisuke Matsuzaka's near no-hitter last night, and they're hoping that the Phillies are hoping that they can get a little bit more today against Tim Wakefield. Let's take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off in center field, Jacoby Ellsbury. Dustin Pedroia, the second baseman, bats second. Victor Martinez hits third, followed by Kevin Youkilis, the cleanup batter. J.D. Drews in right field batting fifth. Adrian Beltre, the third baseman, hits sixth. Hitting seventh, the left fielder Jeremy Hermida. The shortstop Marco Scutaro bats eighth, and batting ninth and pitching is the knuckleballer Tim Wakefield. And they will face right-hander Roy Halladay, making his 10th start of the year. And we'll see, he has a number of starts against these Red Sox.
He sure does, Tom. He's certainly not a stranger to the Boston Red Sox. All the years he pitched against them when he was with the Blue Jays in the same division. This is what Roy has done this year, coming off a really tough loss last time out, 2-1 to the Pirates on Tuesday here.
Now, the Phillies' offense has not really been clicking on all cylinders since that first game against the Pirates on this homestand. And Halladay's first pitch of the day is in there for a strike, and the count is 0-1.
Here's a scouting report on Roy, and against the Red Sox, 38 games started. He's really used that changeup effectively, and of course he'll use a lot of sinking fastballs and other pitches.
Ellsbury, who came back yesterday off the disabled list, making a second consecutive start. He was 0 for 4 in last night's ball game, and quickly the count is no balls and 2 strikes to him.
He uses that cutter a lot, does Halladay. There's the numbers on Ellsbury against Roy. And, you know, you talk about pitch counts and pitches thrown. Well, the Red Sox are not a team you look to have a low pitch count game anyway.
A chopper toward first base should be an easy play, and is for Ryan Howard. One away here at the top of the first.
That's the kind of thing you hope you can do with this team, is have them put some balls in play early in the count, because they will stand up there like they did off Hamels the other night and foul pitches off one after another.
Oh, and Halladay's gone through a stretch these last 3 games. There's Cole, who pitched so well on Friday night for the Phillies and picked up the victory, his 5th of the year. Halladay, over his last 3 starts, has thrown more pitches during a 3-start span than any other time during his career.
Yeah, and last time when he pitched, he threw a lot of pitches, but he had 6 days rest, too.
Here's Dustin Pedroia.
And he could conceivably get an extra day this week. Don't know what they're going to do. They've announced who they're going to use through the Mets series, but not Friday yet. And, you know, you could give him another day, and we'll see what they decide to do.
And Charlie was saying just yesterday that they were going to discuss it and decide as the week moved on up in New York what they would do with their rotation. Oh, he's quickly ahead 0-2 to Pedroia.
5 pitches, 5 strikes to 2 different hitters, which is good.
Pedroia overall hitting .267 with 8 home runs. And it's 1-2. Lifetime, Pedroia has 8 hits against Halladay and 38 career at-bats.
Boy, are they happy Halladay's out of their division. Talked to some people around their club, and it's like, goodbye.
The Red Sox were one of the teams that were interested in acquiring Roy Halladay, but the Blue Jays probably didn't want to trade him within the division. You see the interleague leaders in batting average. Pedroia 4th behind Larry Walker. Castro ranges to his left and rolled up his arm. Still has plenty of time to throw out Pedroia for the second out. During the 2010 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Phillies begin play today, 3.5 games up in the National League East over the surging Atlanta Braves, who have won 5 straight.
Yeah, that game that they won with 7 in the 9th helped them a little bit. That'll help you surge.
Yeah, they've won 5 in a row. Meanwhile, the Red Sox are in 4th place in the American League East, but they still are 8.5 games back, which is where they were when this series got underway. Here's Victor Martinez, who takes a pitch low and in. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, the way the teams play in that division, Terry Francona's happy they just split this weekend so far. You know, just where they are, that they haven't lost any ground, especially after losing a game here in Philadelphia.
That one's it for a strike, and it's 1-1 to Martinez.
And they're headed for St. Petersburg tonight, too, to play the Rays. So it doesn't get any easier for them.
See where they sit in the American League East. Tampa Bay, 31 wins, 5 games ahead of the Yankees.
Halladay's right around the plate with his stuff early in this game, and all strikes too, and not strikes in the middle of the plate, strikes that they have to be having. So far they've had defensive swings against him.
Changeup tapped over toward the middle. Utley to his right. He's got it. Throws out Martinez. And a 1-2-3 inning for Roy Halladay. 3 straight ground outs for the Phil's ace. He gets through the top of the first with 12 pitches. We go to the bottom of the first. Sox nothing. Hey, what an outing he had last night, as we mentioned. 1 hit and 8 innings of work. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup this afternoon. Brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Shane Victorino leads it off in center field, followed by Greg Dobbs, the third baseman. Chase Utley, the second baseman, bats third. Then Ryan Howard is the cleanup hitter. Jason Worth is in right field, batting fifth. Raul Ibanez hits sixth. Juan Castro starts at shortstop. He'll be the number 7 hitter. Paul Hoover makes the start behind the plate this afternoon. He'll hit 8th. And batting ninth and pitching, of course, is Roy Halladay. And they will face Tim Wakefield, who's making his 6th start of the year, 0-2 with a 5.31 ERA. And Wheels, he is the longest tenured Red Sox pitcher of all time. And we'll get into that in just a little bit.
Yeah, he's been with them a long time. He was originally selected by the Pirates back in 1988. He's now 43. He'll be 44 later this summer. They've dropped him out of the rotation, so he hasn't pitched for a while. And here's a scouting report. Well, there's no scouting report on it. It's just going to be knuckleballs all afternoon, and you just hope he's not on with it, because when he's on, guys can have some really ugly swings.
Tim Wakefield with 189 wins, 164 losses for his career. See Jamie Moyer in the background there. These two guys are kind of intertwined, being in their 40s. And the first pitch knuckleball is in there for a strike.
Charlie Manuel did a lot of talking in his pregame radio show about how to hit a knuckleball, and he says the only way to do it is you have to get on the plate and get up in the box.
Which is what Victorino is doing, and he loops it foul over the first base dugout, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, he could get up even further, too, because he has that back foot, way back in the box. Charlie says, you talk to guys about it, you tell them the way to hit a knuckleballer. He says that's all you can do.
Well,
he says if they're not going to follow you along with you, not much you can do about it.
And there are a lot of guys who, when they're switch hitters, will bat in the spot that they're most comfortable. And Victorino's batting right-handed here against Wakefield instead of lefty. And they do that because they feel like they can see the ball a little bit better. And we'll probably see that not only today by Shane Victorino, but we could see this as the season moves on if the Phillies were to face an R.A. Dickey or somebody else down the road.
Yeah, I was going to mention that about Victorino, that he's hitting right-handed there, because for whatever reason, the switch hitters like to hit right-handed against a knuckleballer, and they'll tell you different reasons on the way they think it breaks and the way they can catch it quicker, so they think it's better to hit right-handed.
There's Greg Dobbs, who takes a knuckleball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Now, see, it doesn't spin. That's weird looking. And you throw it with the fingertips, and unfortunately, he has come out throwing it for strikes, because it's the old, if you see it high, let it fly, see it low, let it go. And right now, he's getting it over, so he can throw it for a called strike.
2-1 the count to Dobbs, hitting 171 with a home run and 5 RBIs. Greg is 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter in the series. And that one's in the air to right field. J.D. Drew has room at the warning track, and they're 2 away.
Yeah, and one thing about the knuckleball is you have to supply your own power, too. You saw Dobbs hit that pretty well, but he got way out in front, and that pitch was 67. That's where his knuckleball is going to be, in the 60s and 70s.
Tim Wakefield will turn 44 years old later on this year. And he and Roy Halladay have matched up against each other a number of different times. In fact, he and Halladay have opposed each other now 7 times during their careers, between the Red Sox and the Blue Jays.
He's 3-1 against Halladay.
Little cue shot for Chase Utley. That's going to wind up being an infield base hit. Beltre gets it over there. But Chase is able to leg it out. Beltre put a lot on that throw.
Yeah, I agree with you. When that ball left the bat, you figure there's no shot at him, and he's almost out. And Utley can fly down the line, too. But here's one of those ugly hits you get off him, or swings. You see Chase take a full swing and then hit it right off the end of the bat and get himself an infield hit. This is a nice play by Beltre. As Tom said, look how much he gets on that thing. And it's all arm, too, because he certainly could not use his legs.
Beltre made a fine play in last night's ball game to help at the time preserve Matsuzaka's no-hitter. And he is a good defensive third baseman despite the errors he's made this year. Ryan Howard takes a pitch high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Now Victor Martinez is back there with that big old oversized mitt, and this is when they get some pressure on the catcher too, because you got to keep calling the knuckleball and catch it. Look at the size of that glove, like a first baseman's mitt.
Outside, 2-0. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Barbara Rote of Philadelphia. The Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Barbara will win $100.
Best line ever about the knuckleballs. It's still Bob Uecker. How do you catch it? You pick it up when it stops rolling.
And right there, you saw Victor Martinez having trouble even seeing the knuckler, and he makes the catch, and it's 3-0.
It's like swatting a fly. What Uecker used to say, I used to be on a first name basis with those people in the front row seats behind home plate. I'd go back there and talk to them all the time when I picked the ball up.
And Ryan take it all the way, and there's ball 4.
That was a fastball. And you're going to see him every once in a while throw a fastball, and that was 72. Because he doesn't have a fastball. The knuckleball, you know, it's a last resort for a lot of guys. And I've seen guys show you how to throw it. Obviously, you throw it with your fingertips. You don't use your knuckles. And we can probably show it as time goes on here. And some of them spin a little bit, but the real good ones are like Wakefield's. They don't spin at all.
Well, Jason Worth has picked up that knuckleball during his career against him. Just 8 at-bats, but he has 4 hits in those 8 at-bats. And one of those hits a home run. And he's behind in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Jason is 2 for 7 in this series. Those 2 hits came on Friday night because the Phillies had only 1 hit last night. That was Juan Castro. And it's 0-2.
And the shorter the swing you can take at guys like this, the better. And yet Jason Worth, as Tom mentioned, has really good numbers against Wakefield. And you know, he's never been known to have a short swing necessarily. You think Polanco would have great numbers against him, and he doesn't.
Way outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jason first in the league in doubles with 21. He's been one of the leaders in extra base hits for most of this year and in pitches seen per at bat, and he has seen 4, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Toward right field, J.D. Drew started in. Now he heads back. He reaches up, makes the catch to retire Jason Worth. So the Phils get a couple base runners against Tim Wakefield. They strand 2. We've played 1. We go to the second. It's a scoreless game. Red Sox in order in the top of the first. So that means that Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. So we go to the top of the second. Halladay will face Kevin Youkilis, J.D. Drew, and Adrian Beltre. And that is 4, 5, and 6 for the Red Sox. This is the first weekend of interleague play around baseball, and it winds down later on tonight when the Yankees face the Mets. And so far, it's all even. The American League has won 9, the National League. Or excuse me, the American League has won 14, and the National League has won 14.
That's a moral victory for the National League.
Sure is. American League has certainly had the upper hand against the National League in interleague play. Of the 13 years that interleague play has gone on, the American League's had a better record in 9 of those 13 years. And that pitch misses inside. 2-1 to Youkilis. Youkilis now has 55 at-bats against Halladay. He slams that one toward right center field. Victorino jumps. It's off his glove and then off the wall. Youkilis around second, heading toward third. Utley's throw won't be in time. And Kevin Youkilis has his 3rd triple of the year. He may have hurt himself. I don't know if he hurt himself on the slide or if it's because the ball hit him. But he went into third base very awkwardly. Terry Francona out to check on Youkilis along with the athletic trainer for the Red Sox. Yeah, I think he hooked himself when he made that slide into third.
He's obviously doing something with his right leg. Whether it's his knee or what. Tough to get that guy out of a game, though. He's a dirt ball. Here's the play, and Shane Victorino, it looked like the wind kept taking it away from him, and when he took that leap, it looked like he got his glove on it and then just couldn't hang on as he hit the wall.
So the ball hit him right there, but he was injured before that.
Yeah.
There's a liner foul.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to have happen to you. You've already hurt yourself, and then the ball comes up and hits you in the face. Right there, he was just about ready to reach for the part of his body that was hurt a little bit, and then here comes the pelota right there. Ow.
Fastball misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Trying to stretch that knee out a little bit. It looks like he hurt his knee.
And a roller toward first. Ryan Howard has it. A run's going to score. Halladay covers the bag, and the Red Sox lead at 1-0.
And he's got a pretty good hitch in his giddy up right now. But Youkilis is one of those guys that you're going to have to break something to get him out of there.
Well, he scores after the leadoff triple. And they look like they're riding him pretty good as he's in the dugout. They're probably riding about the fact that the ball hit him in the face.
Yeah, like what's that going to do to that? Because you know Terry Francona wanted to kid him about that. But he wanted to make sure he was all right first because Francona's an all-time leader.
Adrian Beltre is the batter, and he takes a pitch for a strike on the inside corner.
He doesn't take himself very seriously, which is a good way to go through life.
See what Beltre has done against Halladay for his career. 4 for 24 against him. Hit hard toward third, right at Greg Dobbs. And he throws across the diamond to retire Beltre. 2 outs. Hey, traveling this season, take the Phillies with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Phillies game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Oh, with 2 outs, Jeremy Hermida is the batter. Hermida made a really nice play defensively in yesterday's ball game. How preserved Daisuke Matsuzaka's no-hitter. In fact, Hermida tracked down a ball off the bat of Chase Utley.
Right at the 374 out there by the Southwest Airlines sign.
That's the thing about yesterday's 1 one-hit combined shutout that the Red Sox threw. The Phillies hit some balls hard against Matsuzaka.
Well, that could have been the no-hitter with the most rockets caught if he had done it. And that's why it's so hard to pitch a no-hitter. All kinds of things have to go right or wrong.
And a call, strike three. Hermade is down looking. First strikeout of the day for Roy Halladay. He allows a run on a ground out by J.D. Drew. We go to the bottom of the second with the Red Sox leading at 1-0. Of good and the clutches of evil. Don't miss the epic season finale of Legend of the Seeker tonight at 8 on MyPHL 17. Raul Ibanez leads it off here in the bottom of the second. And Ibanez takes a knuckler up high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Raul's 1 for 5 in this series. Overall 8 for 28 against Tim Wakefield in his career. As mentioned before, Wakefield began his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And did he turn things around when he went to the Red Sox? That one's off the end of the bat towards shallow right. And J.D. Drew has been busy so far. He's made 3 catches with 1 out here in the second.
65 miles per hour jumping all over the place. And that's what makes Wakefield so effective when he gets that thing in the strike zone.
Well, we mentioned before that he is the longest tenured Red Sox pitcher of all time. You see, he has 175 career wins as a Red Sox. Bob Bloss, who's a good friend of ours, who wrote the book Rookies of the Year, called today and mentioned that he thought Wakefield was the longest tenured pitcher. Joe Castiglione, their longtime radio announcer, said that, yeah, Bob Stanley was at one time. He pitched for the Red Sox from 77 to 89. But Wakefield has been able to stay in a very tough city with a team that has won 2 world championships for a long time.
And he's been a little bit disgruntled lately because he hasn't pitched as much as he wants to. So he's trying to dazzle him here today and get back into good favors.
Juan Castro, a .260 hitter. Ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. And he pops it up. Again, short right field. Pedroia, the second baseman, will make the call and make the catch. And there are 2 outs.
Wind today is blowing from right to left. That can influence a knuckleball one way or the other. And at this point, Wakefield's having one of those days where he's commanding his knuckleball really, really well. You see the wind blowing towards the left field out of the east-northeast at 10. It's cloudy, 68, and a little bit of a shower before the game. Expect to be okay here today from what we understand.
Now with 2 away, here's Paul Hoover. Hoover batting 8th today, catching for Carlos Ruiz, who we're hitting .333 with no homers and 2 RBIs.
Notice the called strikes that he's had already with the knuckleball, and that's always a good sign for Wakefield, not for the opposition. Because what you hope is he'll get behind and have to throw the one that maybe isn't as good, or even give in with a fastball once in a rare occasion, or a curveball that he'll throw. But when he gets ahead, he's a problem. He's ahead of another hitter now.
Another cue shot, foul over the Phillies dugout, and there remains no balls and 2 strikes. It's 1-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals lead the Orioles 3-1. Roger Bernardina 3-run triple for the Nats. That game's at the top of the 2nd inning.
Well, that was the first big old slow curveball he's thrown today. That's what he meant. Mix one of them in once in a while.
That one's just foul.
Rare fastball and a rare curveball, just to give the hitter another look.
Well, and you're always surprised when he throws them.
Phil Niekro used to be unbelievable with that. Here's the curveball we're talking about. I watch. It's just a big old spinner that nothing happens. Niekro was a master at throwing a little 3-2 slider when he'd have a guy in that spot and just freeze him with it. But he was, I guess Hoyt Wilhelm was probably as good as anybody. We didn't see him that much. And I saw Niekro a lot. Oh, he was really good. Couldn't run on him. He had a balk move to first. He was a good hitter. And he's in the Hall of Fame, and he should be.
Another pop-up. This one is shallow right center. Pedroia, the second baseman, heads back, makes the catch. The Phillies with 3 fly ball outs here in the 2nd are retired in order. We've completed 2 here at South Philly. We go to the 3rd. It's 1-0 Red Sox. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan forum section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, the Yankees have never had a player with 3,000 hits. The Red Sox only have 1. Can you name him? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning, and I think that's somewhat of a trick question. Because they've had some players that you would think have more than one that have 3,000 hits.
Like well, one guy comes to mind immediately, but that can't be the answer because he spent a lot of time flying airplanes. United States.
Marco Scutaro leads it off.
2 tours of duty.
I would think you're on the right path.
Yeah, but it's too obvious. He didn't play enough.
Scutaro 1 for 8 in this series against the Phillies. Former teammate of Roy Halladay. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike.
This guy played his whole career with the Red Sox, or was it?
Whole career. Wow. Chopper toward Juan Castro at shortstop, charging. And he throws him out, just gets him. And there's one away. Well, today's Thirst Inning is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the Thirst Inning. On a cool day here in South Philadelphia, plenty of spots to quench your thirst here at the ballpark. How about the Bud Light rooftop, which goes from left center to right center, all along above Ashburn Alley. Good spot to be to enjoy today's Thirst Inning. Here's Wakefield, who is a 126 career hitter. He does have a home run and 4 runs batted in. First at bat this season. And he has 103 at bats for his career. And it's 1-1. Now, Tim Wakefield at one time was a position player. In fact, that's how he made the transition to being a knuckleballer. He wasn't a very good position player. He was a first baseman. In fact, he was a first baseman in the minor leagues as he chops that one to Chase Utley. And there are 2 outs. First baseman in the minor leagues who hit 189 one season. And that's when he decided to make the transformation to being a knuckleballer, because all these coaches had seen him fool around with that knuckleball all the time. So hitting really turned Tim Wakefield into the 40-year-old knuckleballer that he is. And who would have thought that when he began his career?
Tommy Hutton had a great knuckleball, and he used to throw batting practice to the Phillies some nights when they were going to face a knuckleball pitcher. That's your, that probably Wakefield did some of that stuff too. Hutz was really good. When you try to play catch with him, life was in danger. You ever try to catch one of those things and somebody can throw a good one? They're awful.
Off the end of the bat, lined right at Chase Utley. Another 1-2-3 inning for Roy Halladay. Second one of the game. Halladay's retired 6 in a row. We go to the bottom of the third with Halladay leading it off. By AT&T, rethink possible. By Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. And by your participating Philadelphia area Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com.
So far, Tim Wakefield, 26 knuckleballs, 4 fastballs, and that 1 hook. That's 84%, according to our stats guru, Carl Graber. And if it looks like Halladay's throwing a lot of fastballs and cutters, how about 30 out of 33 pitches? Fastballs.
Well, he leads it off, and he sees a knuckleball, and he pops it foul and out of play. It's 0-1.
Throwing 2 changeups and 1 curveball, and he got an out on a changeup.
Well, Terry Francona was saying on Friday when he was thinking about his lineup, he was trying to decide when to start David Ortiz and even give Mike Lowell a chance to start. As Halladay hits it towards center field, Jacoby Ellsbury comes over and makes the catch. And today was the day that they thought they may start those guys because there were going to be so many fly balls given up by Tim Wakefield, and that's been the case. David Ortiz, who would normally be filling in over at first base, has pretty good numbers against Roy Halladay. And Mike Lowell doesn't move all that well anymore. Could play possibly third, or Youkilis could play over third because they figure they're not going to get a whole lot of action.
But that's what we talked about Friday, that Terry had told us that he was not going to play Youkilis at third base. He didn't want to play him over there, and he didn't want him. Whoop. Victor Martinez had trouble throwing the knuckleball back. He didn't want to play him over there, and he did not want Youkilis out of the lineup for 2 games. And who's gotten hit for them so far today? Youkilis.
Knuckleball in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Ball almost hit Shane Victorino. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
It does look funny seeing him bat right-handed against a right-handed pitcher.
Wheels, you look at David Ortiz, and he's got the R.I.P. Lima on the side of his hat. Jose Lima, 37 years old, passed away earlier today, the former Major League pitcher.
Yeah.
And news broke around baseball earlier about that. Obviously, David Ortiz recognizing the passing of Jose Lima. Line drive for Victorino down the left field line. That's in for a base hit, and it's going to be at least 2. Victorino will pull it to second base. A 1-out double here in the 3rd.
Didn't know that about Jose Lima. It's Lima time, we used to say all the time. When he would go out there, and he was a showboat and a hot dog, and at times a tremendous Major League pitcher.
Well, and folks say a very good guy to have on your team because he had an awful lot of energy.
Oh, did he ever?
So the second hit for the Phillies, a double by Victorino. That's his 6th double of the year.
Stayed back pretty well on that one. He still got out front, but you can see he kept his hands back enough to hit it.
Dobbs takes a pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1.
This is where you really want to be alert if you're Victorino at second base. Get a walking lead and see if one might bounce away from Victor Martinez.
And a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. The catcher for a knuckleballer comes in play so much.
Well, you have to keep calling him. It's one of those things. That's the pitch. He got an out in the fastball in this inning, but that was to the pitcher, Halladay.
Toward left field. And Jeremy Hermida makes the catch. So Victorino goes back to second. There was a time a few years ago where the Red Sox experimented with having Josh Bard as the catcher for Tim Wakefield, and it just didn't mesh. He just couldn't catch the knuckler. It was one pass ball after another. And Victor Martinez has had to really learn it over the last year on how to do it. Jason Varitek very rarely catches Tim Wakefield, or at least in recent years hasn't. 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd. It'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. Chase had an infield single his first time up.
I see, you don't want to be dancing off that much now with 2 outs, because all that does is distract the hitter, and it's distracting enough right now trying to time that knuckleball. You get to third, that's terrific, but if you're going to get to third, you get there without the second out being recorded.
Chase pulls it towards second base. Pedroia waits, and after double clutching, he throws out Chase, and the inning is over. The Phillies get a 1-out double, so runner stranded at second. We've completed 3. Phillies with 2 hits to the Red Sox 1. here, including the Indians, who are in town for 3 beginning Tuesday, June 22nd at 7:05. Again, it's a 2-night games and a day game. The Thursday, the 24th, is a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Log on to Phillies.com. Get your tickets today. Dustin Pedroia leads it off here in the top of the 4th inning. Pedroia grounded out to short his first time up. It's 1-0 Boston thanks to a ground out by J.D. Drew. And Gary Matthews joins us here at the top of the 4th. Pedroia hitless in 10 at-bats in this series for the Red Sox. And it's 2-1.
He's got pretty good numbers, though, power numbers, and 8 home runs. In the 20s there with the RBIs. Does hit early in the lineup, usually second.
Pulls that one toward third. Easy hop for Dobbs. Ooh, not an easy hop for Ryan Howard. He scoops it up for out number 1.
Yeah, just showing some really nice soft hands over at first base as he picks that ball.
All right, Sarge, so we're watching today Roy Halladay, who has a very different style than Tim Wakefield, the starter for the Red Sox. You've faced knuckleballers before. You played on the same team with Phil Niekro. How hard is it to hit?
Yeah, well, it can be difficult. What you want to do is you move up toward the pitcher. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're taking away some of the break on the ball. The deeper you're back, the more that ball is going to be able to move on you. So if you move up, you'll have a little better success.
All right, when Jamie Moyer's on top of his game, he's got great placement, doesn't throw all that hard. But this is different, though, isn't it?
Different movement. Jamie will come in throwing, and you have hitters looking more for his fastball, which is 82. But then again, he's able to hit his spots where Wakefield, throwing that knuckleball, you can't actually throw it exactly where you want it. You're throwing it and just aiming it and hoping that that ball is near that strike zone.
Well, Victor Martinez is the batter, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike to Martinez, who grounded to Chase his first time up. On the flip side, Roy Halladay is doing the anti-Tim Wakefield today. As a liner into right field as a base hit for Martinez. That's just the second hit for the Red Sox, and Jason Worth had a little trouble with that one, but Martinez stops at first. Hey, Phillies fans, this season it's easier than ever to find seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan ticket marketplace of the Phillies. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
StubHub!
Runner on first with 1 man down. Kevin Youkilis, the hitter. Youkilis tripled and scored the only run of the game. That is a ticket stub, which may or may not have gotten on StubHub. Sergeant mentioned that Halladay is sort of the anti-Wakefield. Wakefield has all but one of his outs in the air. He had a ground out by Chase to finish up the third. Halladay has all but one of his outs, or 2 of his outs, on the ground.
That one throws a lot harder than Halladay. Well, you don't want to see a lot more movement than the knuckleball, but he does have movement on his pitches. Sinker in.
And there's that distribution we were just discussing. 8 ground outs, 1 fly out, 1 strikeout. And 45 pitches so far with 1 away here in the top of the 4th.
Continues to try and get that fastball in on Youkilis, not wanting to extend those hands.
Martinez goes, pitch is taken low. And that's ball 4. So Martinez up to second. Youkilis is aboard with the first walk issued by Halladay. And J.D. Drew getting his normal Philadelphia greeting as he steps up. Grounded out his first time up. There was some thought that J.D. Drew, who was in the lineup early today, that he would be scratched. The Red Sox didn't say why, but He remained in once the lineup cards were exchanged. He's had back problems over the years. Terry Francona posted that lineup outside his team's clubhouse earlier this morning, and then about an hour or so, somebody said, yeah, hold on a second. They may not keep J.D. Drew in there, and he's got a base hit here already at RBI. Martinez will hold up at third, and the bases will be loaded for the Red Sox.
And Martinez not a fast runner. Jason Words could be very deliberate on that. Didn't have to worry about trying to rush and get a fast runner coming. Just pick that ball up and get it toward home plate. You'll stop the runner.
So one away, and Adrian Beltre is now the hitter. Beltre grounded out to Dobbs his first time up, as the Phillies have played the infield at double play depth to try to get out of this jam. He's not missing by much with those pitches on the inside part of the plate. So 10 double play groundouts already for Halladay this season. That one's hit toward third. Could be another one. Nope, right through the 5-hole. 2 runs are going to score, and the Red Sox are going to lead it 3-0. Phillies have, we mentioned earlier this year, played very good defense behind Roy Halladay, but the last 3 games they haven't played very good defense behind him. And that's going to be an error charge to Dobbs, his second of the year.
It's an automatic double play ball. If he can just catch that ball, and you got to be able to catch it first. See the ball coming, just going right through his wicket. You got to catch it first before you throw it. Soft hands you got to have. You can see looking down, but didn't look it into the glove. And the last thing that you want to do when you're not hitting as a club is to give away runs, and that's what you would call it, a gift.
This ball, Sarge, never really came up the way Dobbs thought it would.
No, that's a ball, though. It's hit hard, and you can see if his glove is down, though, you got to be down and then come up, not up and go down.
Now Jeremy Hermida hits it hard. It's a foul ball. First base umpire Marty Foster made that call right away. Rich Doobie came out to talk to Halladay after that error to Dobbs, which did result in 1 RBI for Beltre. You can't assume the double play.
Right.
So an E5 and an RBI if you're scoring. And it's no balls and 1 strike to Hermida. Off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. Little cue shot to the left of the mound. Halladay has it. He'll get the out at first. 2 away. Runners move over to third and second. J.D. Drew to third. Beltre up to second.
I thought he might have had an easy play, even going to third base, since the ball was taking him toward that direction. Halladay more interested in just making sure he gets it out. Got to stop the bleeding. But take a look. That ball is hit there. Cues it off. Now there he catches it right there. I thought he might have had a play. But then he just elects to go on and get the runner going to first.
Well, they're going to intentionally walk Marco Scutaro because Tim Wakefield is the on-deck hitter. So Halladay not taking any chances. Talked about this the last game that Halladay was pitching. And you see Wakefield taking some swings in the on-deck circle. With the errors the Phillies committed behind him and caused his pitch count to go up even higher. And, you know, this is one of those kind of innings where at one point with 1 out in the 4th, he had 45 pitches. Well, now with 2 outs here in the 4th, he's got 57 pitches.
Well, it's big. The defense is big. The pitcher's out and throwing, and that's how his pitch count can go up. Guys making errors, not catching the ball.
Here's Wakefield. He grounded out to Chase Utley his first time up. He's 0 for 1. And he delivers a fastball for strike one. "26 pitches this inning alone for Halladay." Again towards second base. Chase has got this one. And he retires Wakefield. So the Red Sox get a couple runs here in the fourth. They strand the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's the Red Sox 3, the Phillies nothing, with Ryan Howard set to lead it off. Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By McDonald's. McCafe your day at McDonald's with a new McCafe Frappe. By Xfinity. It's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. And by Suzuki and the amazing Kazashi Sports Sedan. Last of the fourth, Phillies are trailing it 3-0. Phillies offense has scuffled over the last few ball games. In fact, they've had a good month of May overall. But aside from the first game against the Pirates, they have really struggled to get things rolling. They're hitting just 184 over the last 5 games. And Howard, who walked his first time up, has the count even 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, it might be strange, though, for a lot of the guys. They haven't faced a knuckleball pitcher to know exactly what to do in order to try and have success. And one of the things is that you don't overswing. And it really, you can almost just let him throw the ball and then go to locate the ball. You don't even have to stride on the guys that are knuckleball pitchers.
Ryan takes a big swing there, and it's 2-2. Well, the oddity is, and we talked about this the other night on the air, Phillies are facing Wakefield here. And there's a pretty good chance that they'll face R.A. Dickey, another knuckleballer, on Tuesday when they face the Mets. Now, I'm not sure, Sarge, whether it's going to help or hurt. And it still remains to be seen whether R.A. Dickey is going to start. He's listed as one of 2 pitchers that could start for the Mets on Tuesday. But who knows whether it's going to help or hurt the Phillies when you have to face another knuckleballer, because he's totally different than Wakefield. He doesn't throw it as soft as Tim Wakefield.
The harder you throw it, the more difficult. Phil Niekro would throw a hard knuckleball, and it just dances. I mean, if you can imagine trying to catch a butterfly with a net,
Really fast butterfly.
Really fast butterfly is right. And as a hitter, you want that ball up in the zone. You get that ball down in the zone, it really does move on you. Take a look at his grip.
See the fingernails is where it all starts. And there's another play for J.D. Drew as Howard's retired to begin the bottom of the fourth inning. So one away here in the fourth. Sarge, did you ever fool around as a player? I mean, I think a lot of players fooled around. You ever fool around as a player by throwing a knuckleball?
Yeah, all players do it. But my knuckleball was awful. It didn't really knuckle. It just kind of was spinning a little bit. I think the larger your knuckles are, the easier it is to grip that ball to make sure that you throw it.
Jason Worth hits that one hard off the glove of Beltre. That's his 5th hit in his career against Wakefield. So the Phillies have a 1-out base runner here in the 4th inning. Hey, if you're 55 or over, well, the Phillies Alumni Luncheon might be the perfect thing for you to take in some Phillies history. Thursday, June 3rd from 11:30 till 2:30 at the Diamond Club at Citizens Bank Park. Highlights include a baseball talk with Pat Gillick. Greg Luzinski will be there. Dallas Green and Bill Giles are supposed to be there as well. Tickets are limited. $75 are the cost, and proceeds benefit Phillies charities. Call 215-463-1000 for more information. Raul Ibanez fouls the first pitch off from Wakefield. It's no balls and 1 strike. Well, I asked you about fooling around and throwing the knuckleball because I was saying before that's how Wakefield became a knuckleballer. Because he was a first baseman in the minor leagues with the Pirates. One of the managers in the Pirates organization, a guy by the name of Woody Hoyk, is the first one that really saw Wakefield throwing that knuckler. And when he was struggling as a hitter, they started having him throw it and throw it more and more often. And then he eventually turned into a guy that was 8-1 in his first tour of duty in the majors, and eventually established himself as a pretty good asset for these Red Sox.
Well, that's a tough pitch to really master, but once you do, it's difficult for a guy to catch the ball, your catcher, and even to hit the ball. But for the Phillies, too, you still got to keep that running game going or go on and do that.
Ibanez lines it the opposite way. Hermida got a good jump, and he makes the catch. And Jason Worth has to go back to first.
And I say that to catch that knuckleball and then to be able to transfer and then throw that runner out, very difficult.
Only 1 ground out so far for Wakefield. Everything else has been in the air. As Worth leads off first. And a toss over. Jason broke, and then he stopped, and the ball goes right off the thumbs of Martinez. That'll be one of those unfortunate pass balls that the catcher should have.
That's exactly what I'm saying, though. Very difficult. That ball there, he ended up slide stepping, throwing it a little bit harder. You see the movement on that. Martinez not able to actually catch that ball as it goes right off the webbing of his glove there.
Castro pulls it toward third. Turns out to be a big hop from Beltre. He's able to set himself. And Jason Worth is stranded in scoring position. Second straight inning that the Phillies have stranded a runner in scoring position. We have completed 4 here in Philadelphia with the Phillies down 3. the week ahead and everything Phillies baseball. It's the Xfinity Phillies postgame show right after the game on MyPHL 17. Top of the 5th inning, Phillies trail at 3-0. Top of the order is up for the Red Sox. Jacoby Ellsbury, who is 0 for 2, will lead it off against Roy Halladay, who's allowed 3 runs. 2 of those runs are earned. Ellsbury is grounded at first. He's also lined to chase, and he takes a pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1. That one is whacked right past Ron Johnson in the first base coach's box. And it's 0-2. Mentioned earlier that the records for the American League and National League are all even in interleague play this year, 14-14. The Red Sox and the rest of the American League teams have had the upper hand since interleague play was first incorporated in 1997. Just doing some research, Sarge. You know that the first attempt at having interleague play was actually back in the early 1950s. The great Hank Greenberg, who was then the GM of the Cleveland Indians, proposed interleague play, and there were less teams at that point, and it was declined, but there was a real big push for it back then, and there were folks in the 60s that projected that this day would eventually come. Some thought it would come in the 80s, but it didn't come until 1997.
Well, it's great for the fans. They were able to see players in the other league, players that they would not normally see. And it's been a good thing, definitely for the fans. I think from the player standpoint, they don't particularly care for it as much. Rather play against the people in your own division.
Castro at shortstop throws out Ellsbury, 1 away. Well, since the beginning of interleague play, see what the American League has done. 1,688 wins compared to 1,548 for the National League. More home runs, more stolen bases, and a better earned run average.
Well, they've been the better league. There's been no question about it in terms of the competition and playing.
Well, and it's carried over to the All-Star game as well, where the American League's had the upper hand, but it hasn't always or necessarily carried over to the postseason, where the Phillies won the World Series 2 years ago against the Tampa Bay Rays. But the American League with the extra hitter, with the designated hitter, certainly has enjoyed the upper hand. And Halladay is ahead of Pedroia, 1 ball and 2 strikes. You know, back when the first interleague play was proposed in the 50s, they weren't going to start it till after the All-Star break. Whereas here, or now, it's before the All-Star break. And they would have a 54 game schedule, and there would be 28 games proposed between the American League and the National League.
Well, one of the reasons, though, for the player standpoint, they like being able to play teams in your own division or in your own league because you make up ground a little bit quicker.
Dobbs to his left has got it on the edge of the infield grass, and Pedroia is retired for the second out. Well, speaking of interleague play, and it's a little different twist here at the ballpark, the Blue Jays will be the home team when they're in town for a 3-game series beginning Friday, June 25th at 7:05. Saturday the 26th is a 4:05 first pitch, and then Sunday the 27th is a 1:35 first pitch. There are tickets and good seats still available, so log on to Phillies.com not only for the latest information but also to purchase your tickets. That weekend, the designated hitter will be used for both teams, as Victor Martinez digs in for his 3rd at bat against Halladay. Martinez has grounded out. He's also singled and scored a run. good breaking ball, and it's 1-1. You know, when interleague play first started, Sarge, it was National League East against American League East for the first few years, and then they had the rivalry matchups as well. You know, Rangers and Astros from Texas, the Yankees and the Mets, White Sox and the Cubs. And today the White Sox are playing the Marlins, and they trail at 5-0 in the third as Cody Ross has hit a 2-run home run. 2-2 the count to Martinez, but I kind of like it when you go outside of the division. So the Phillies will get a chance to face the Angels down the road, or teams that you're not necessarily used to seeing in these National League cities.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like those again, though, when you're able to play the different teams. The players in playing or facing a guy that you've never faced before, it's kind of like bragging rights, going in and facing them, being able to get hits off of that guy. And obviously, there are certain pitchers that you wouldn't want to face.
3-2 the count to Martinez. And a chopper toward Chase Utley at second base. He doesn't have to move too far. And Roy Halladay has a 1-2-3 fifth inning. 3 straight ground ball outs. We'll see if the Phillies offense can answer when we return at the bottom of the fifth. Ice K. Matsuzaka. It was a flare by Juan Castro, but they hit the ball hard last night, Sarge.
Yeah, there were some balls that were hit hard. That's how pitchers end up having that no-hitter, when those hard balls are smoked. And there's one right there. See, right up. Here it is in the 7th inning there. Now, that ball was really smoked. And the one thing that I liked about this, though, even after he gave up the hit, he wasn't looking up to the sky. It was just one of those things on the hit, and he said it wasn't in the cards.
Well, Adrian Beltre made a fine play over third on a line drive. Pedroia made that catch on that ball by Chase Utley, where he leaped as high as he could. And it turned out to be a double play in the first inning. Jeremy Hermida made a fine play in the outfield. Daisuke said he didn't even realize he had the ball in his glove that Jason Worth hit. Just all reaction, as Jason hit it right on the nose. Paul Hoover leads it off here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and is behind, no balls and 2 strikes.
So that would have been a clean single, headed right up the middle. But as a player, all you can do is hit it hard. Daisuke had a lot of the hitters off balance in last night's ball game.
Toward third base, that's a fair ball. Beltre from behind the bag. He's got a good arm. And Hoover is retired for out number 1. Well, the Phillies Baseball Academy is taking sign-ups for girls and boys ages 6 to 14. Get professional coaching, skill development for Phillies players, coaches, and Baseball Academy instructors. It includes uniforms, a trip to Citizens Bank Park, 15 great camp locations, 10 weeks to choose from. Log on to PhilliesCamps.com for information. Halladay swings at the first pitch, and he hits it to shallow center, and Ellsbury makes the one-handed grab. And there are 2 outs.
Oh, the way that Wakefield throws the ball, it doesn't seem like a pitch count would bother him just because he doesn't throw the ball as hard. You know, not maximum effort on all of his pitches. He's just floating it up there. You can see the 60 total pitches. Great split, 42-18.
Well, that seems to be the key, the fact that he's throwing strikes with it today.
And Milt Thompson last night changed the game plan. They started off just taking pitches on Daisuke, and then afterwards say, hey, this guy's throwing strikes. We need to go to hitting.
And the game plan, it changes every day. I mean, you know, sometimes you have the same focus of trying to get into a team's bullpen, but there's some guys like, let's say, Roy Halladay that throws strikes, so you can't wait too long.
And rule of thumb, you want to swing early with him. See, that ball just popped up.
Yep, it's spinning back, and Martinez makes the grab, and it's an easy inning for Tim Wakefield. He's retired 5 in a row, a ground out and a couple of pop outs. We have completed 5 here at Citizens Bank Park. Kevin Youkilis to lead it off when we return. No. When Jimmy Rollins needed time off, it was Shane's job to lead off. Lead off and lead the Phillies is just what he has done. Batting nearly 300 in the top spot, the center fielder has delivered with his bat on a nightly basis and tripled the excitement on the base paths. When Charlie made the call, Victorino answered. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Top of the 6th inning, Phillies trail at 3-0. There was a span of games during this homestand where we're talking about the Phillies offense getting 1 or 2 runs over an 18-inning period. Well, they're in one of those spans again. Roy Halladay's allowed 3 runs today, 2 of which have been earned. But it's the offense that has had trouble against Tim Wakefield. And Kevin Youkilis will lead it off here at the top of the 6th for the Red Sox.
Yeah, you don't want to lose these type of performances by your pitchers that are keeping these hitters at bay.
Youkilis today has scored 2 runs. He's tripled and walked. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. A fastball off the outside corner.
That's the pitch that seems to be very difficult to hit in that batting stance. That fastball coming in on you. Got to get ready quick. He will hit that ball, however, that is out over the plate. He seems to get to that ball a little bit better.
Sarge, what do you think he would go to the stance that he has right now? I mean, what do you think fired him up to say, you know what, this is going to work for me?
He probably tried it a few times, had some success. And maybe some of his friends told him, hey, you can't hit like that. And he says, yes, I can. But, you know, he starts unorthodox, but when he gets ready to hit that ball, he's conventional. He's getting ready. He's there. He's ready right there.
I guess the thing that's surprising, it's not even the pigeon-toed feet, but it's where his hand is. Look where his hand is.
Hand is up on the bat, and then he slides. You see how he gets it ready, though? Yeah, he gets a little bit late, though. You see that ball was almost on the side of the plate.
Well, it's 3-2. Youkilis has walked 24 times this month, including once today, and he's run the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes after falling behind.
Well, you would not teach that.
In the air to left field. Towering shot. It's got some distance. Ibanez is back, and it is gone. Into the first row of seats. It kept on hooking. And Youkilis has his 9th home run of the year.
That ball, a hanger, up out over the plate. Orthodox or none, he gets ready to hit the ball when it is out over the plate. He's been their best player so far this year. What you call a gamer, Kevin Youkilis, comes to play every day, gives you that effort, and there it is again. That ball's up. He'll start to slow it down a little bit now once he knows it's out of the ballpark.
Oh, with nobody out, J.D. Drew is the hitter. And this is the pitch Sarge was just talking about, just hung up there.
Yep.
Drew has an RBI and a base hit in today's game. His RBI came on a ground out. So Youkilis with 3 runs scored. He now has scored 37 runs, which leads the American League.
Well, it doesn't matter what pitcher you have on the mound, too. When you're not scoring runs, it has a tendency to put pressure on the pitcher, knowing that he can't give up a lot of runs when your club's not scoring. Trying to be a little bit too perfect with your pitches at times.
Just serves that one into left center field. That's going to be a base hit for Drew, and he's going to get more than 1 out of it. Drew will pull it to second. He's got a stand-up double. And that's his 11th 2-base hit of the year. And for the Red Sox, that is their 5th hit of the day.
J.D. Drew not over swinging at all on that pitch. Just taking it the other way. Taking whatever Roy Halladay gives him. Let's take a look at Charlie Manuel there in the dugout. Here's that pitch there. Ball's going away. You see how he got over swinging, didn't go over on it.
That one's just over the glove of Castro. Drew is going to stop at third. Well, the Phillies bullpen's going to start to get loose, with the Red Sox having 2 more runners aboard against Halladay, their 6th hit of the day. And Beltre has been on base twice now. There's Chad Durbin. He's loosening. And here's Hermida, who's 0 for 2. Strike down to ground out. At the point where you kind of have to manage this inning too, where you play the infield back if you're the Phillies to look to turn 2, allow the run to score, because Halladay's in search of some outs here.
Now they will go for 2 if they can.
Line drive caught by Chase, and they say that he dropped it on the exchange, but that's the first out of the inning. I don't think he would have doubled up Beltre. It might have been close if he got rid of it quickly, but Beltre didn't go too far. Second base umpire Gary Cedarstrom, who said that Chase was in the process of the exchange.
Yeah, one of the reasons he was getting it out quick was to try and get that over there. You see, he was getting ready to throw it to Ryan Howard at first base as it loses the handle on it.
Boy, if he can get Scudero here, he's got Wakefield in the on-deck circle. And he really can get through this inning by just allowing the home run to Youkilis.
Yeah, well, he wants to make Scudero, too, hit his pitch. Quality pitch, especially since Wakefield has hit the ball to the second baseman the last 2 times.
Back toward the middle, a base hit. Drew's going to score from third, and it's 5-0 Boston. So an RBI single for Scudero. That's his 8th RBI of the year. The double play is still in order for Wakefield, but he's probably going to be up there to try to sacrifice the runners up into scoring position.
Yeah, clearly a bunting situation. Dobbs giving the signs, and then verbally will tell Roy Halladay what play they have on. He's an athlete, Roy Halladay. He should be able to get that bunt if it's going toward third base and it's not on the line.
Wakefield does bunt at it. He misses the throw back to second.
Dropped the ball, I think.
Well, Beltre slid past the bag, but Castro couldn't find his foot. So he just gets back. Paul Hoover trying to sneak that toss in behind Adrian Beltre.
Yeah, that's a real good throw. Anytime a batter fakes that bunt or it goes right through, you can see that he has that ball. Now, if he just keeps it on, he does that little swipe tag.
One ball, one strike to count to Wakefield. Howard creeping in at first. The runners lead off, and the bunt is bunted toward first. Howard will pick it up and apply the tag. And Wakefield is retired. The sacrifice, though, is successful. Up to second goes Scudero, to third Beltre. And there are 2 gone.
Pretty big play there. Wakefield bunting the ball, bunted it hard right at Howard, but he didn't have a chance to get the runners going to third. See him getting high fives in the dugout.
Now Ellsbury, who's hitless at 3 at-bats. And he hits one back toward the middle, and that's going to sneak. Oh, no, it's grabbed by Castro, who throws behind the runner, rounding third, but the runner keeps on going, Scudero, and he'll cross the plate. 2 runs have scored, and that's probably going to be it for Roy Halladay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to let him stand out there and just get beat up.
And that is a single, an infield single for Ellsbury, and he gets 2 RBIs on it. You can see what Castro was trying to do. He's thinking that they didn't think he was going to come up with it. And Scudero was going to round third too wide, but he kept on going. So Halladay's afternoon is complete. The Red Sox have scored 4 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. They got a break on that play by Juan Castro. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen. Phillies have dipped into the bullpen rather early with Roy Halladay on the hill. 2/3. He allowed 8 hits and so far 7 runs, 2 walks and 1 strikeout. One of those walks was intentional. I mean, this has been an eventful inning after the leadoff home run by Kevin Youkilis. Watch this play again. Jacoby Ellsbury bounces one up the middle. Castro somehow gets to this ball, Sarge, which was surprising in its own right.
Yeah, he sure did. And can't fault him, though, for his thinking on there. He made a pretty good play. Obviously, it should have gone home. He's not able to look. He's thinking the runner, Scutaro, who scooted on home, was going to be just rounding that bag as you see him cross home plate. And Doc not very happy right now.
Charlie Manuel pats him on the back after he gets back into the dugout. And the batter now, Dustin Pedroia. Well, this is the second inning today where the Red Sox have sent 8 men to the plate. And they'll keep Ellsbury close at first. And they score that. It's an infield hit for Ellsbury, but he does get 2 RBIs because the play continued. And Scutaro was heading toward home.
Well,
thinking the ball had gone up the middle, yeah.
Never stopped. He base hit. He's thinking that ball's going up the middle, so he's running hard from the very beginning.
Last year, Roy Halladay had an outing against the Red Sox in August where he went just 5 innings. That was August 19th of last season. 0-2 the count to Pedroia as Chad Durbin is the new pitcher for the Phillies. And Pedroia pops it up. Foul territory, first base side. Ryan Howard is over, battling the wind a little bit, and he makes the catch. So 8 men come to the plate in the inning for the Red Sox. They score 4 runs in the inning. It all started with a home run from Kevin Youkilis. He's having himself a pretty good day. He's got 3 runs scored so far. Red Sox lead it. National sales event is going on now. Hurry into your Toyota dealer today. Buy WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. And buy your local Dodge dealers. The Phillies trail at 7-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Red Sox have outscored them 12-0 in the last 2 games. And we start the bottom of the 6th. Tim Wakefield remains in the game for the Sox. He's allowed only 3 hits so far. Greg Dobbs is flat out twice, once to right, once to center. I mentioned Wakefield came into this ballgame with 189 career wins. He'll be 44 years old on the 2nd of August. He's probably in the same mind frame as Jamie Moyer that this isn't his last year, that he can probably keep on pitching.
Well, no, I mean, that knuckleball again, where it doesn't put a lot of strain on your arm, should be able to throw that.
So we talk about Jamie and how good he's been. You know, we talk about him being the first non-knuckleballer to do this or that. He was just explaining that Wakefield just threw a fastball on that previous pitch to Dobbs. And Dobbs then hits the knuckleball out to left. Ramita makes the grab. No, that's it. When you talk about Jamie and compare him to Phil Niekro, Niekro pitched at Jamie's age, but he was a knuckleballer. Wakefield, if he can keep getting his control, could probably pitch until Jamie's age.
And that's a good point, too, with the control. And a lot of times those knuckleball pitchers will lose it for whatever reason. Wakefield, though, he doesn't throw his anywhere near as hard as Phil Niekro used to throw his.
Chase Utley's the hitter. He's 1 for 2.
And if Phil, on the smaller guys, Phil Niekro, would, if he got to 3 and 2, would come with you with fastball or slider.
Chase hits one in the air deep to right field. J.D. Drew going back to the warning track. Does he have room? He jumps. It's off the top of the wall. And it's going to kick on back. Utley rounds second and heads to third. He'll be held there. And Chase has a one-out triple here in the 6th inning. First triple of the year for Chase. You see his last one was back in September of last year.
So you got to give a lot of credit, too, though, for Ellsbury in center field. If he doesn't come over, that possibly an inside-the-park home run. J.D. Drew, as he jumps up there in the screen, not knowing where the ball was. He thought maybe it might have gotten out of here as he turns around. Ellsbury's going to come sprinting in order to get that ball to keep Chase Utley at third. And Drew not running too fast as it is with that bad bat.
Phillies have a runner at third for the first time today. Ryan Howard is the hitter. He's 0 for 1. Ryan walked his first time up. They have the shift on. Beltre will range over to the shortstop position, which means that Utley can get a pretty good jump off the third base bag. And with the Red Sox leading it by 7, they'll play the infield way back, including Pedroia shallow right, and concede the run for an out.
Needs to get that ball up in the zone if he can. And not talking near that chest area, but having it start there coming down. It's just not taking really healthy swings at Wakefield. Indication of not facing a knuckleballer or knowing exactly what to do. It is a lot different, though, facing a guy that throws the ball straight with that kind of movement.
And a swing and a miss, and Ryan is down on strikes.
Well, George Hendricks, who coaches first base with the Tampa Bay Rays, he wouldn't play against Phil Niekro because he said it messed his swing up for a week. Now, you want to try and hit that ball the other way. He has his head down on it. You know, and again, I like to be up on that plate, forward to the pitcher. At least it gives you, you don't get as much dance on the ball. If you're staying back, you're going to get a lot of movement on that knuckleball.
Nolan drops in for a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, that's the thing, Sarge. Movement. You just saw by that slow-mo replay just how much that ball moved at the end from Wakefield.
Can't overswing, can't swing too hard. If you do, you jerk your head off.
That one's in the air to left, a foul ball. And it's 0-2.
Anytime you swing hard, your head's going to move off of the ball. Makes it difficult to hit the ball, and you want to be short and quick if you can with these knuckleball guys and stay up the middle as opposed to trying to pull them. Just take whatever he gives you.
That's play by Martinez to keep Utley at third. Jason pulls it toward the hole. Flag down by Beltre to his feet. Throw is low, and it's dug out by Youkilis to end the inning. That's a heck of a play by both cornermen. First Beltre, and then on his errant throw, Kevin Youkilis is able to scoop it up and retire the Phils to finish up this 6th. seventh inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies trail at 7-0. Chad Durbin, who took over for Roy Halladay with 2 outs in the 6th inning, will face Victor Martinez, the number 3 batter for the Red Sox.
Watching those highlights, you and I talked before we left here after the 3rd. I mentioned that Terry Francona doesn't want to sit Youkilis ever. I guess we know why. I mean, what's the difference in this game today? Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah, he's had himself a good day. He just made a fantastic play on a throw by Adrian Beltre.
Well, I thought that walk he got off Halladay was really key in the inning where, unfortunately, the run scored. You know, he's on base all the time. And then he hit that curveball out for a home run. That was just icing on the cake for his at-bats. But the other at-bats that he had, you know, he has a triple and then the walk. He scores 3 runs. And, you know, and I think he probably threw about an 8 or 9 pitch at-bat on Roy on one of them.
2-1 pitch to Martinez, and he hits it in the air deep but foul. And this is a long one.
That Verizon Wireless game summary, and you see J.D. Drew's 2 for 3. Youkilis has had a huge game, scoring the 3 runs. Roy Halladay, throw that one off. It's just not a good day for him today. 5 2/3 innings, and Tim Wakefield has been very good. You could see in the 1st inning he was throwing his knuckleball for strikes, and unfortunately when that happens, it can be a tough day for the opposition.
Well, that's a good pitch by Chad Durbin right there to retire Martinez. So 1 away on the breaking ball. Here is Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis has scored 3 runs today, 37 runs scored now in the season. I mentioned before that leads the American League.
Well, the first 3 runs they got off Roy Halladay today. And that was a tough play that Victorino had on the ball Youkilis hit, but you know, it hit the heel of his glove. And then the ball through Dobbs' legs for a 2-run error. They were out of the inning. That's a double play ball probably.
A double play ball because of Adrian Beltre running.
Here it looked like, you know, he kept fouling pitches off, and it looked like Roy Halladay figured, I'm going to just throw him this 3-2 hook. He hasn't seen this today. And, you know, he got it in the strike zone too much, and he hit it out of the ballpark, and that's the kind of player Youkilis is.
Well, Durbin's ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Youkilis. Misses low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Phillies bullpen has been really good for them during this month of May. In fact, even with all the injuries that they've sustained, they've kind of held things together with Chad Durbin, Jose Contreras, Danny Baez, guys like that. And that's a good sign. You know, Ryan Matson will hopefully be back by the All-Star break or right afterward. Brad Lidge hopefully be back later on this week. As Youkilis fouls another one off. Phillies bullpen came into this ball game with an earned run average of 3.56. They've given up the fewest runs and the fewest hits. And it's 3-2 to Youkilis. In the air to left field, another towering shot. The ballpark should hold this one. Ibanez on the edge of the track now moves in a few steps. And they're 2 away here in the 7th inning. Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. 2 away. Here's J.D. Drew, who has a couple hits today. I said before that there were some folks that are saying that J.D. may not even play in this afternoon's ball game. He's got an RBI and a couple of hits.
Yeah, he got the hit right before the double play ball that Beltre hit that unfortunately went through Greg Dobbs' legs. Would have had Roy Halladay out of that inning. Still would have been 1-0 at that point. Phillies haven't scored any runs for him either. You know, he'd be the greatest pitcher in the world, but all the time you go out there, you have to thinking, you know, and I know he's not thinking that way, but you go out there and, you know, you never have anything to work with. And that's the way it's been lately.
On the hands of pop up towards shortstop. Juan Castro calls everybody off. He's in the vicinity, and it's a 1-2-3 7th inning for Chad Durbin. So the Red Sox are retired in order. Time to stretch here at Philadelphia with the Phillies down by 7. answer. Here's the question again. The Yankees have never had a player with 3,000 hits. The Red Sox only have one. Can you name him?
Well, you want to think Ted Williams, but I know it isn't, so I'm going to go with Yaz.
Carl Yastrzemski would be correct. He is the only 3,000. Only Red Sox collect 3,000 hits. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. Now, these are the guys that these are the all-time hit leaders in Red Sox and Yankee history. Ted Williams, 2,654. He would have obliterated that if it were not for the war. Both wars. Lou Gehrig with 2,721. He would have obliterated it if not for his illness.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you think about Ted Williams, who some people say is the greatest hitter of all time. You know, who knows? But when you look at those numbers, that guy was a fighter pilot in 2 wars.
Right.
And think how many years he missed in his unbelievable career. He certainly would have been way over 3,000 hits.
Well, Wade Boggs reached 3,000 hits, just not with the Red Sox. He finally reached that with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time. There are those that feel like Dom DiMaggio could have been up close to 3,000 hits, if not for the war as well.
Yeah.
And of course, Joe DiMaggio retired very early. Well, you think some people's thoughts.
Yeah, and you think about Ted Williams, and he not only had 1 tour duty, but 2.
Right.
And was evidently a heck of a pilot. They said his eyes were pretty good.
I would think they would have been. Well, the sold-out crowd this afternoon, another sellout for this 3-game series. Watch the Red Sox jump to a 7-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and Raul Ibanez will go back to work, and that's what it's been today. It's been a lot of work against Tim Wakefield, but the Phillies haven't managed to run. They've managed only 1 runner to third, and Raul was flied out twice. Probably wondering, you know, is this something that Wakefield has done often this year? Well, not really. In fact, this is, well, no doubt his best outing of the season. It's not his longest outing of the year, but it is his best outing of the year. In fact, he went 7 innings against the Blue Jays in his last start, which was on the 17th of May.
Well, you know, and we don't see him that often, but if he has command of the knuckleball like he has today, the odds are he'll have a good day. And how many days can you have this good, effective a command of a knuckleball as he's had from the first inning? Think how many called strikes you saw early in this game, which is not a good sign.
2-1 the count to Ibanez. I remember asking Jared Fernandez, who was a really good knuckleballer and won a lot of games in the minor leagues with the Red Sox, and was also in the Phillies system at one time. As Ibanez lines one toward left center, Ellsbury comes in diving despite the sore ribs, makes the catch. Yeah, there's 1 out. Anyway, I used to ask Jared, and Wakefield helped Jared Fernandez a lot. I said, well, what's the best conditions? I would think if it's breezy, it might help you a little bit. He said, no.
Yep, there's a great play by Jacoby Ellsbury. That's the other thing about it. You know, they've caught everything that's been hit today,
right,
too. They've hit some fly balls fairly deep, but, you know.
Well, with 1 out, here's Juan Castro. Anyway, a day like this, there's not a heavy breeze, but it's almost like a crosswind, which I would think does help a little bit. But Jared used to say that the stillest of days used to help his knuckleball as Castro hits it in the air to left center field. Hermida won't get there. It splits the gap, and it's off the wall.
I think the other thing that really has helped Wakefield today is the fact they got him some runs. You know, I just mentioned the thing with Halladay. Any pitcher pitches more effectively when he has more runs, and he's not out there grinding on every pitch not to make any mistake, you know, not to allow base runners. And in this case, they got him some early runs, and I think that loosened him up even more.
Charlie Manuel has moved from one spot of the dugout to another, trying to generate some runs for the Phillies. And runs have been tough to come by.
Last 2 games, that's for sure.
Paul Hoover's 0 for 2. He's popped out. He's grounded out. And he pulls that one toward third. Beltre glides behind the bag, and he throws him out. And that's going to force the Phils to send a pinch hitter up to bat for Chad Durbin. Ben Francisco will pinch hit here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Francisco 0 for 2 lifetime against Tim Wakefield. And another pop-up. Right side of the infield this time. Kevin Youkilis down the line. Ooh, he has to avoid Francisco, and he makes the catch. So a lot of pop-ups this afternoon. Tim Wakefield, for the second straight outing, is through 7 innings. He'll take a 7-0 lead into the 8th. Quality Plus Ford dealers by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Honda. Look for money-saving leases and low financing at your Honda dealer. Well, we have completed 7 here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies trail at 7-0. Phillies have lost 3 games already on this homestand. They scored 1 run against the Pirates in Game 2 of that series. 1 run in Game 1 of their series with the Cubs. They didn't score last night, and they haven't scored here today. As J.C. Romero takes over here in the top of the 8th inning, facing Adrian Beltre, who's got a hit in 3 at-bats, and he skies this one down the left field line. That'll be out of play. And it's no balls and 1 strike. JC's numbers: 10th game, no wins, no losses, an ERA of 3.18, and those numbers are getting better. With each passing outing that JC has had, his numbers have gotten better.
Well, they want to get to a point where they can depend on him late in the game against left-handed hitters, especially. And I think JC can get right-handed hitters out when he's throwing well, too, because he has a good changeup. But just a matter of him getting his fastball back to the point where he can use that to set up some other stuff.
He's picked up a couple saves in the last couple of weeks, and that's part of, or last week or so, and that's part of what Wheels is talking about getting him into spots where they can count on him, where he can throw strikes. He came on to close out a game earlier on this homestand. You see the difference between April and May, when even JC was saying that his fastball wasn't where he thought it would be when he came off the DL, but now it's getting there. That one Marlins off the end of the bat toward left center field. That's going to drop in for Beltre. Second hit of the day for Adrian Beltre. And he takes a wide turn but holds up at first. Hey, they're back and as popular as ever, so make plans now for future Hatfield Dollar Dog Nights. Monday, June 7th, when the Phillies take on the Padres, is the next one. And then Monday, July 5th, against the Braves. Order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. Again, your Hatfield Dollar Dog Nights here at the ballpark. Speaking of the Braves, they've won 5 in a row. They're trailing today against the Pirates. As Jeremy Hermida swings and misses at the first pitch from Romero, and it's 0-1. Hermida's 1 for 6 of these last 2 ball games for the Red Sox.
Playing off Beltre right now, figuring he's not going to go in a 7-0 game, which is the norm. You know, you usually don't run if the score is at this point, but you know, in this ballpark, sometimes you wonder how many runs are enough, but it is the 8th inning.
That one slowly hit towards second. Chase has got it. He flips to second. They get the lead runner. Beltre does not run that well, and Chase looked like he wanted to try to tag and throw, but Beltre got just by him.
Well, as we just talked about, they weren't holding him on, so he had a huge lead at first base, so that's why he was able to get there that quickly. But then he didn't slide, which is kind of strange. See, he's got that big lead over there because they're not holding him. Now the ball's trickled towards Utley, and that's his play to get the lead man right there. You see the umpire, of course, second base umpire Cedar's going to put his hands up, but that ball didn't hit him because it was close.
Here's Scudero, who had a single his last time up at an RBI, eventually scored a run. So the Red Sox scored 4 runs in the 6th inning, kind of busts this one wide open. On the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies will wind down this homestand today against the Red Sox, and then they embark on a pretty important road trip, only because they have 3 series against 3 straight National League East teams. And on the road, 3 against the Mets, and then they've got 3 against the Marlins, and then 3 against the Braves. And the Braves, as we mentioned, Charlie knows this, he was talking about it today, have won 5 consecutive games. They're losing today, but still they've won 5 in a row.
Yeah, no days off. You play 9 straight days against the teams in your own division.
Outside, 3-1 to Scudero.
Braves are a funny team. You wouldn't think they'd go into the funks that they've gone into with their starting pitching, because they have shutdown starters, potential shutdown starters, but they got into a problem on the road where they couldn't win on the road. They couldn't score either. So even though their pitchers were doing okay, they couldn't get them any runs.
Down low, ball 4. So 2 runners aboard here in the 8th inning. And it's time now for our Coors Light Freeze Cam. Well, the Fanatic has been very busy this afternoon, and he was distributing some T-shirts earlier. Something to the Hall of Fame Club. That's a Fanatic in action right there. Got to be on your toes when the Fanatic is bouncing around with that CO2 booster. That's our Coors Light Freeze Cam. Tim Wakefield will remain in the ball game here at the top of the 8th inning with 2 runners on, leading at 7-0.
Yeah, their bullpen had been beaten up a little bit, and now all of a sudden, as Wakefield's up there to bunt and just move them over, they got a complete game out of Lester before they came here. And then last night, the long effort from Matsuzaka, and now Wakefield's taking them deep in the game. So 3 out of their last 4 games, their starters have gone deep for Terry Francona. That really helps your bullpen.
Wakefield squares again. This time takes the pitch for a strike, and it's 0-2. That is John Lester, who has been the ace of this Red Sox staff, and a young ace to boot. Wakefield squares again with a count 0-2, and he bunts it foul, so he's down on strikes. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Well, Tim Wakefield today has been dancing that ball every which way in the strike zone.
Yeah, see those knuckleballs one after another. Knuckleball pitchers, a lot of times, they're going to get fly ball outs. In this case, there's a ground ball out off the bat of Chase Utley, but he's had a lot of balls that were hit in the air for outs here today. That was a strikeout of Ryan Howard with a man on third and less than 2 outs. And Ben Francisco popping up to end the last inning as a pinch hitter. The knuckleball pitchers, as I mentioned, the ball's in the air a lot. And if they're keeping it off the barrel, they'll have a good day. If they're not, they can get in trouble with long fly balls that turn into homers.
See Wakefield's line as he catches his breath after that at bat. Count is 0-1 strike to Jacoby Ellsbury. And a cue shot, foul. It's 0-2. Ellsbury had the infield single that resulted in 2 RBIs his last time up. Juan Castro flagged the ball down behind second base. Marco Scudero just kept on running from second.
Yeah, that play looked really bad. Well, we'll talk about it.
On the outside corner, and Ellsbury is rung up for the final out here in the 8th inning. Tim Wakefield goes back to work with a 7-0 lead. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. First week of June. In fact, Tuesday, June 8th at 7:05, they'll start a 3-game series with the Florida Marlins. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. Marlins are beating up on the White Sox this afternoon, 8-0 out in Chicago. Here, the Red Sox lead the Phillies 7-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the top of the order is due up against Tim Wakefield. Victorino, a double back of the third. He's popped out twice. Once to Victor Martinez, the other time to left for Jeremy Ramirez. And the first pitch is taken inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
That's what we were talking about with Castro. Then with that strikeout, we had to go to break. I think what he was trying to do, he's thinking, well, maybe that runner's going to come around third, take too big a turn. The third base coach is going to stop him, and I'm going to throw behind him. Well, as you said, they never stopped him. He just kept on coming. I guess what you need there is somebody yell home, home, home. But it all happened, it happens a lot faster down there than what we're thinking up here. And they stole a run on that play with some good base running.
Yeah, I think everybody was surprised Castro got to the ball behind the bag.
Well, that's his
Scudero.
Right, and that's his thinking too, is that there's a good chance that guy's just going to take a big turn. Victorino is very upset about that pitch being called a strike. There's Juan Castro, so he throws behind him. And if they had stopped him at third, 10 feet off the bag, now they got him in a rundown.
2-2 pitch to Victorino. Swung on, popped up to the right of home plate. Victor Martinez onto the on-deck circle. And Victorino has some words for the home plate umpire, Fielding Colbert, as he goes back to the dugout.
Oh, here we go. Okay. We need to get thrown out of the game, and he cut it out.
take a look at where those pitches were. I think the bird is on the umpire a lot of times too when these knuckleballers are on the hill, because you can get fooled very easily.
It's a hard pitch to call too, but Wakefield's made it pretty easy with most of them because they have been strikes.
Here's Dobbs, and Dobbs works ahead, 1 ball and no strikes.
He's just had a tremendous day. He's got really good command with his knuckleball, and you got to give him credit. It's not like he has anything to fall back on if the knuckleball's not working. If it's not working, the only thing he's going to do is take a shower. Other pitchers, you know, when they're struggling with certain pitches, maybe they can go back to something. Not a guy like Wakefield.
Said Wakefield will celebrate a birthday on August 2nd of this year. He'll be 44, and he gets another pop-up into foul territory. Adrian Beltre is over onto the warning track, 2 away, 2 foul pops for the first 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And speaking of birthdays, today is Don Cannon's 70th birthday.
Our old friend Don Cannon, happy birthday to him. Yeah, great DJ, as you used to call him here in this town for a long time. So send that along. There's the offensive woes of this team in this homestand.
Phillies are 6 for 35 with runners in scoring position, which leads to the just 12 runs that they've had on this homestand. Now, they have not been shut out in back-to-back ball games since 2008. When they were shut out on the 7th of August by the Florida Marlins, and then the 8th of August by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And this offense is so good that those numbers are kind of surprising when they struggle to even score runs. But when they're shut out in back-to-back games, that's even more surprising.
Yeah, and they're here with 2 outs in the 8th inning without a run. They've had a couple runners in scoring position, 1 to 3rd with less than 2 outs, but not able to do anything with Wakefield. There he is, throwing another knuckleball for a strike.
One and two the count to Utley. Chase has 2 hits today.
Kind of get frustrating too, you know, when you're facing a guy like this and you're losing the ball game, and he's throwing those things up there, and you're up there trying to. It's like you're a fly swatter up there trying to hit that thing. Wait, and then hit it. And when you go to swing at it, it's not what you thought it was.
99 pitches for Wakefield.
A lot of strikes.
And ball 4. So Chase is aboard for the 3rd time today. That's just the 2nd walk issued by Wakefield.
There's a lot of strain on his arm either when he throws 100 pitches the way that he has, and they don't have anybody up in the pen.
Ryan Howard's 0 for 2. He is another guy that's walked today. He walked back in the 1st. Phillies had 2 runners on with 2 outs in the 1st.
Wakefield has 1 strikeout today, and that's when they had the runner at 3rd with less than 2 outs, and Ryan swung and missed at a knuckleball. Now, he didn't think that was a strike, and he's going to say something to Culbreth, and that's part of this frustration you're starting to feel a little bit from these guys. They haven't scored in 2 days, and they think these pitches aren't strikes. You saw Shane show some frustration.
That one is pulled toward first from one knee. Youkilis grabs it awkwardly and runs it to the bag. So the Phillies strand a base runner at first here in the 8th. We've completed 8. We go to the 9th with the Red Sox leading at 7-0. Oh, we go to the top of the ninth inning, and Donis Baez, the new pitcher for the Phillies. With the Phillies trailing at 7-0. And he will face 2, 3, and 4 for the Red Sox. There's the numbers on Baez. 21st game, 2-1, an earned run average of 4.91. He has 8 strikeouts in 18 1/3 innings so far. So get a little work in here with the Phillies down 7-0. Dustin Pedroia is 0 for 4. He's grounded out 3 times. He's also fly to center. And a fastball taken a little high. 1 ball and no strikes. Chad Durbin out of the Phillies bullpen today. Went an inning in the 3rd scoreless. And then J.C. Romero pitched a scoreless 8th inning. And now here in the 9th, it's Baez. See Pedroia's line. Mentioned earlier, the Phillies are hoping to get Brad Lidge back at some point this week when they hit that road to take on the Mets in the 3-game series, and then the Marlins, and then the Braves. You know, we talk about this lineup, this Phillies lineup not having Jimmy Rollins for a good part of it, because Jimmy's on the disabled list again. Charlie hasn't been able to get the bullpen set up in its roles, so guys, not that they're not used to pitching in these kind of roles. You know, Baez in the 8th inning or even the 9th inning. Contreras is not really used to being the closer. There's Jimmy. But the Phillies are 10 games over 500, even with all the injuries that they've sustained.
Well, they're resilient. They've been resilient for a number of years now, and they have to be resilient again. They really don't have any choice, because nobody cares when you have injuries. Everybody has them, and you have to try and play through them. And if you can, you succeed and you have a good year.
That one's in the air to left field. That's pretty well hit. Ibanez on the run, and it's off the wall. Raul does a nice job of stopping it as it scoots past the warning track, and up to second base goes Victor Martinez. To third goes Pedroia. And the Red Sox have 2 in scoring position here in the 9th inning.
That guy's a good-looking hitter. Saw him a little bit with Cleveland. The Phillies played them in interleague play. Now over here with the Red Sox, switch hitting catcher, and Victor Martinez can really swing the bat. Gets a fastball away, and he does that. Takes it away, and the wind's blowing out towards left and left center. He picked that one up and really shot it out to the wall.
Well, Victor Martinez signed through this year, and he is now 6 for 7 against his former teammate. Here's Youkilis. The Phillies play the infield in halfway, and Youkilis loops one back of Chase Utley over toward right. Worth is there. He makes the catch. And there's one away. Well, Pedroia goes back to third.
Seems funny seeing Youkilis swing at the first pitch. Always seems like he's up there working the count, and Danny's made a good fastball pitch on him. I guess he's thinking first ball fastball, he's going to drive it somewhere, and he got jammed.
Youkilis retired for the 2nd time, and here is Darnell McDonald. He'll be pinch hitting for J.D. Drew. McDonald this year hitting .266, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. Baez fires a fastball at 97 for a strike. It's 0-1.
You know, they have the infield halfway right now. They don't want to just give up another run on a ground ball. Tough way to play. You know, a trickler can go through for 2 more, but you play the infield back, looks like you gave up when it's 7-0. So you see what they've done with the infield, put it halfway so they can come home.
The 0-2 pitch to McDonald. Chopped the opposite way right past Ron Johnson in that first base coach's box, and remains 2 strikes.
I think he thought that was coming a little faster than it was. The way he reacted. They're all over him on their bench.
He's got that shin guard on his elbow, so he was protected if anything.
He's got one on his leg, too.
He does have one on his leg. He's got Pedroia's.
Yeah, he's got Pedroia's shin guard, and he's got the other one.
Toward third base, knocked down by Dobbs. He'll come to the plate, and they've got Pedroia to run down. And the ball hits Pedroia. Paul Hoover hit him square in the back. The bases are now loaded.
Not a good game defensively today for the Phillies there. Pedroia, well, you'll see on the rundown what he does. He tries to make it a tough throw, and he made it a tough throw, and he got hit. Here he is. He's coming, figuring he's got a chance to score here. Now watch what he does. He runs right back in the line. He picks up where the third baseman is, and he runs right back in that line to make it a very difficult throw for Hoover, and Hoover hit him. And that's the kind of player Pedroia is. He's smart.
Well, he scored a fielder's choice and an error to Paul Hoover to allow Pedroia to be safe at third. They're getting into that rundown, so that's the second error of the day for the Phillies. Adrian Beltre, the batter, with the bases loaded. Beltre has been on base 3 times.
So they teach you to do when you get in a pickle like that is try and make the angle as difficult as possible for the relay for the guys trying to make that rundown play, and it worked that time.
Probably the best that is in this game right now at that is Chase.
Sure, he'll do that. Infielders really understand that, Tom, because they're the ones that deal with it a lot. So you've got an infielder getting in the rundown, and his mind is working overtime on how to prevent or maybe make something happen like that.
One and two the count as Beltre swings and misses that fastball. Towards center field. That's pretty well hit. Victorino coming on, makes the grab, tagging from third is Pedroia. The throw to the plate by Victorino is up the line. And he got the plate with his hand. It's now 8-0 Red Sox. And it's a sac fly for Beltre. And that'll be an unearned run allowed by Donis Baez in this inning. Second RBI for Beltre, 26 now on the season. And here's Jeremy Hermida. Hermida 0 for 4. He reached his last time up on a fielder's choice. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies will say goodbye to interleague play until they face the Red Sox again up in Boston on the 11th of June. They have 3 against the Red Sox, then the off day on the 14th. And then 3 against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Then they face the Twins here at home and then the Indians here at home.
Tough interleague schedule this year. Even though the Blue Jays are here, they're another really good team. And the Phillies, as everybody knows, and we have been emphasizing it over and over all weekend, have not played well in interleague play.
Back toward the box. Nice hop for Baez. They'll run halfway to first. Wait for Howard to get there. And he retires the Red Sox, who do get another run here in the top of the 9th inning. They strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Phillies trailing 8-0. for the Red Sox, taking over for J.D. Drew. Tim Wakefield's day is done. Wakefield went 8 innings, allowed 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. Ramon Ramirez takes over for him. Ramirez in his 17th game has a 5.06 earned run average. He pitched really well for the Red Sox last year after they acquired him from the Kansas City Royals in the Coco Crisp deal. In fact, he had 7 wins out of the pen in 70 games and an ERA of 2.84. So Terry Francona has decided to go to his bullpen, despite the fact that Tim Wakefield with that knuckleball was in total control through the first 8 innings.
No matter what this guy throws, it's going to look like it's 100 miles an hour.
Well, Jason Worth leads it off for the Phillies. Jason today is 1 for 3, singled a second time out. And he takes a pitch at the knees for a strike, and it's 0-1. And how about that, Ramirez with a fastball at 88 with some extra movement on it.
Yeah, this guy's a sinker slider type guy. But at 88, imagine how fast that must look.
To the count to Jason. Mentioned last year that Ramirez won 7 games. He was tied for 3rd most among major league relief pitchers. And that youngster got himself a souvenir. Happy day.
Ramirez also throw a good changeup too, so he's a 3-pitch guy.
High, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Coco Crisp is a good player. He's a good defensive player, but the Royals struggle so much with pitching. They've given away some pretty good relievers the last couple of years.
The guy in Florida.
Yeah, Leo Nunez. In the air to left field. That's pretty well hit. Hermita's on the run, and that one is off the base of the wall. Jason Worth, who leads the league in doubles, is heading for another one. He's there standing. And that's his 2nd hit of the day. 22nd double for Jason. How about he's only 4 away from what he did last year, which was a career high 26 doubles.
Well, he's a perfect guy to hit a lot of doubles because he uses the whole field really well. See him hit that pitch in the gap in left center field. And he's the kind of guy who can stretch singles into doubles because of the way he can run. So you put those two together, he should get a lot of doubles.
Here's Ibanez. Mentioned the Phillies during this homestand are 6 for 35 with runners in scoring position. That includes today. And they've got a runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the 9th inning. And it's at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Was flied out to each of the 3 outfielders in today's game. Line drive. That's a bullet toward right field. McDonald going back, and it's off the top of the wall, and it gets right on by McDonald. Worth's going to score easily. Ibanez will hold up at 2nd. It's an RBI double. The Phils are on the board here in the 9th inning. It's the 2nd ball that's hit that brick at the top of the right field wall and shot right past the right field.
Right on that padding up there. Utley had one earlier. Well, pretty obvious these guys are happy to see some fastballs all of a sudden. After what they looked at all day, there's another fastball. It's up in the strike zone and whack right off the wall out there. And trickles back. In a game where you needed it, that had a chance to be a triple. But when you're down by 7 runs, you just stop.
Well, first hit today with a runner in scoring position for the Phillies. John Farrell comes out to talk to Ramirez. And Hideki Okajima is up and loosening in the bullpen for the Red Sox. So still nobody out. Still a runner in scoring position. But a run has crossed the plate. Carlos Ruiz has come out in the on-deck circle to bat for Paul Hoover as Juan Castro will settle in. Castro doubled his last time up. 1 for 3 today. takes a fastball high, 1-0. That's it. Rally cap time in so many ways for this Phillies offense. Great thing about this game is that there's always hope, even when you're down 8-0. Now it's a 7-run deficit. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Juan Castro. Off a slider, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Castro and Wilson Valdez are going to get some playing time now with Jimmy Rollins on the disabled list again. Fortunate that Wilson Valdez was not picked up by anybody when he was designated. He was headed back to AAA when Jimmy was hurt. There's Carlos Ruiz, who waits on deck, opening it up with a guy in scoring position, a chance to knock in another run. Francona just went to the phone. I think he was trying to see if Okajima was ready to go. Pop up to the left of the plate, foul territory. Victor Martinez has made 3 catches now on pop-ups in the game. 1 out now in the 9th inning. Is still at second base. And here's Carlos Ruiz, who will bat for Paul Hoover. Carlos has had a rough homestand. As hot as he was, that's as cool as he's been. 1 for his last 16.
And as patient as he was, that's how impatient he's been lately, and that's one of the reasons why he's in a little bit of a funk. Chased a lot of pitches out of the strike zone that he had not been doing, and run a lot of deep counts, and he hasn't been running on this. Jima continues to throw out there just in case.
And a foul ball, so it's 0-2 to Ruiz.
See, there's an example right there, chasing a pitch up and out of the strike zone. And Carlos had a real good feel for that strike zone before he went down with that injury, and he hasn't been quite the same guy since he's come back.
Hurt his knee against the Colorado Rockies on the last road trip. He waits for the 0-2 pitch from Ramirez. And he lays off. It's 1-2. He's informing that young lady about the rally caps. How you're supposed to wear them, what you're supposed to do. It could be your own personality. And Carlos waves. And I guess what was a cutter. It looked like a pitch that was moving with some pretty good velocity, and there are 2 outs.
And there you go. The really a synopsis of what we're talking about with what's going wrong with Carlos. You know, he's swinging at balls, pitches out of the strike zone. You get down with 2 strikes, and you're going to have more of a tendency to chase anyway. Guy threw a pretty good slider there, and he goes after it. There was a pitch earlier in the count that he went after that kind of got him in the hole.
So from Ruiz to another pinch hitter. Here's Ross Gload. And Glode, who's pitch hitting for Danis Baez, takes the first pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes. This year hitting .214, 1 home run and 5 RBIs. The home run was a pinch hit home run. Batting with Ibanez on second. And it's inside and high, 3-0. Shane Victorino on deck. As Raul taking his lead off second. The 3-1 pitch. In the air to right field. That's deep, and that's not coming back. McDonald will just look at it go. Ross Glode, his second pinch hit home run of the year. It's a 2-run shot, and the Phillies are down 5. It's now 8-3 Red Sox, and it doesn't matter what time of the game it is. If you're part of a McDonald's home run jackpot, a home run is hit, you can win $100, and that's what Barbara Road in Philadelphia has just won, thanks to Ross Glode.
Yeah, Ross Glode's a really good pinch hitter, and got that pitch down for a left-handed hitter. They love it in that zone, and no doubt about it, home run to right center field.
Well, the 7th career pinch hit home run for Ross Glode. As we said, the 2nd one this year. And now Victorino to try to start something again with the Phillies down 5. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Victor Martinez goes out to the mound to talk to Ramirez.
Well, you know, they're still in really good shape, obviously, with a 5-run lead, 2 outs and nobody on base. But this happens a lot of times. The manager will want to bring a guy in, probably hasn't gotten much work lately. Bring him in a harmless situation with a big lead and hope he wouldn't pitch the opposition back into the game. And he still hasn't. Like I said, he's got a 5-run lead with 2 outs.
Okajima's been loosened up for a little while, but look at the pitches that Ramirez has thrown.
Well, they're going to make sure that they have that left-hander ready.
Got Dobbs, a left-hander in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, and then Utley and Howard.
And that's a strike. It's 2-1. Victorino was taken all the way on that pitch.
The Shane was taken until he got a strike. Maybe his last hitter if Victorino were to get on here. It's a good job by Shane. Just take as many pitches as you can, try and get on base. Now he's running the count full.
Popped it up. Straight away center field. Ellsbury coming running on. He's under it, and he makes the catch, and the Red Sox have taken 2 of 3 from the Phillies this weekend. Tim Wakefield, 8 innings pitched this afternoon. He earns career victory number 190. It got a little dicey for Ramirez, but he's able to close out the Phils here in the 9th inning. Kevin Youkilis with 3 runs scored, a triple, and a home run. And he is our Chevrolet, or excuse me, Tim Wakefield is our Chevrolet player of the game. 2 walks, a strikeout, 5 hits over 8 innings of work this afternoon. The knuckleball was knuckling, and the Phils hitters were kept off balance for most of today's game. Our WB Mason deliveries of the game. Well, it's been a productive couple of days for the Red Sox offense.
Kevin Youkilis, the guy that Terry Francona talks about, he hates to take him out of the lineup ever. Got it started with that ball off the heel of the glove of Shane Victorino, and then that relay hit him in the face, but he hung around. Later on, he walked, and then he hit a 3-2 pitch, a curveball out of the ballpark off Roy Halladay. And a big game today for first baseman Kevin Youkilis.
So Euclid finishes with 3 runs scored, including his 9th home run. He also got that triple that we talked about. The Red Sox defeat the Phils 8-3.